Hey everybody, this is RC bringing you my game picks of E3 2017 here on GGRC. This is Spider-Man. Now the interesting thing about this Spider-Man game is that it's actually being developed by Insomniac. You know, the team behind Ratchet & Clank all those years and the team behind Spyro the Dragon. That's right. They've tried to branch out a bit. I remember they released a game called Fuse a few years back, which didn't really do much, nobody really cared for it. But now they're back doing something very different with Spider-Man. So what's interesting about Spider-Man is that not only is he a Marvel character, but the rights to Spider-Man, I believe, are actually owned by Sony, so hence why this game is actually exclusive to the PlayStation 4. But look how beautiful this game looks. And once you start seeing how the gameplay unfolds here, I believe that you are just going to be blown away by it if you haven't seen it already. It's just super cool. So there's one bad guy down there. So you're actually using what looks like, abilities and I would say gameplay very, very similar to the Arkham Asylum games that Batman had over the past few years or so. The jumping around, the webbing, that kind of thing. Though it looks like, in my opinion, it looks like it's going to be a much easier version of said games. Look at that, environmental kills. So what makes it look easier is that he's going to be able to use his webbing all over the place to take out dudes. And I don't know if it's just because the person playing is super good or what, but they just make this look super easy. He's going through these enemies like nothing.
Not today.
Absolutely love the camera angles and shots that they use in this. So here's fighting very, very similar to Arkham Asylum. But again, still looks a little bit easy because Spider-Man looks like he is just like jumping all over the place. Nobody's able to really get at him, dodging guns like it ain't no thing. But man, yeah, the camera angles of some of the jumps and everything just looks amazing. Here it looks fine. I mean, it looks like Batman. It doesn't look too much different from those games. Wow, he just kicked that guy right off of the off the building. But that scene where he actually like threw his webbing on the beam and went around it looked awesome.
Nice jumpsuit. Slimming.
Stay out of my business.
And of course, Spider-Man, he's back with his wisecracks and everything, the way he ought to be. Love that Spider-Man also holds the phone upside down to him, so that way he appears to be floating upside down to the guy on the other end. It's pretty funny.
Saving bad guys from other bad guys. Not how I thought today would go.
So I like Spider-Man's voice in this too. The traversal in this game just looks super fun. This game is going to easily be, and you can tell from this trailer here, easily going to be a system seller, as if the PS4 isn't doing good enough already. It's sold a ton of consoles already. But this is a game, just watching it, because I'm not even the biggest Spider-Man fan, but just watching the game unfold and how fun it looks to control Spider-Man makes the game look like a system seller. And for me, it's a game that I'm like, wow, this just looks like a ton of fun. It looks like a big open world that you can just traverse all over the place with your webbing and swing anywhere you want to go. And to me, that feels like a system seller.
That's actually really cool.
Love that too. He's tells the boss, or tells the guy that he's fighting whatever he's doing looks really cool. Actually complimenting him.
Fisk, your men are safe. Your turn. Who runs the demons?
You're about to find out. Check the roof.
He's here?
Up to the roof we go. Let's check it out. Can run up there. Just like that. That reminds me, what was that superhero game that came out like years and years ago? Prototype, I think it was called. So in Prototype, you could run up the buildings just like that. That's what that reminds me of. Pretty silly. So I don't know about most of you out there watching this, but I am not familiar with this villain whatsoever. I did see that many people were chatting about it, saying like, oh wow, they're glad that they're doing something with this villain. I don't know if he is just an unused villain that has been used much. Like I said, it's not one that I recognize, so maybe not. But I'm also not the biggest comic book guy. I know a little bit, enough to get me by, but not enough to know who that was. Oh, spider senses didn't tingle enough there, I suppose. So this sequence of events right here is just awesome. It's almost a quick time, you know, it's definitely set up as like a quick time event type of thing here, but look at the camera angles and everything. This just looks amazing. And what this reminds me of is what they were doing with Uncharted 4. If you, I haven't played Uncharted 4, but what I remember from the trailers is what they were doing where, you know, you'd be riding on a Jeep and then you'd have to jump from the Jeep onto like a moving train and everything. And just the dynamic angles of where you were going, it just looks so awesome.
I'm getting reports of a helicopter with a wrecking ball.
It's complicated. Turns
The
out Martin
absolute
is running
speed of
the
Spider-Man flying through the city like this too just
complicated.
looks like it's so fun to control, which is another thing I really would like to do.
That helicopter is destroying the city.
I know.
You need to bring it down.
I know.
Maybe you could superhero a little faster?
Working on it, Yuri.
Maybe you could superhero a little faster. That's one of the other things I also like about this too, is that the game, even though it is dealing with some serious stuff going on with this villain here, it's also very lighthearted. It's got a sense of humor. It has good writing, which is something you don't see a lot in superhero movies or games, for that matter. It's always so damn serious. But this sequence of events, from the crane to this part, this looks so cool.
Okay, Lee. Here I come.
Trying to traverse through this floor here while everything is just busting. Helicopter shooting RPGs.
Is this the flight to Newark?
Boot that guy out, and here we are. Spider-Man's got a heart, see that? Threw him back in there, didn't kill him.
No one else will!
Lee, this is crazy. This isn't you.
You don't know me!
So this fight on the helicopter absolutely feels like it's in a movie of some sort, doesn't it? Love this too. I remember seeing this in the Spider-Man cartoon when I was a kid.
Come on, Pete. You got this. You got this. You got this. You got this.
Gotta love all the people reacting to just the craziness going on here. And this helicopter somehow still flying and going crazy all over the place.
This up.
This part right here, this is what reminds me of the cartoons. He would do this stuff to villains. Love that. What an intense sequence of events there. That is so cool. So now he's going in to check on his friend here. He's telling him, you know, this isn't you, blah, blah, blah. But there is a twist here at the end. It's somebody else! Somebody I have no idea who it is. Everybody else seems to know who it is, but me. So it's coming next year, but man, that game definitely looks like a system seller. Looks like it's going to be a ton of fun to play. Love the sense of speed and the humor. Man, what a good looking game. Be sure to stay tuned to my channel for more E3 2017 coverage. Click the playlist on screen to see more right now.